I mean, are you kidding me? What a dink we have as a mayor.
I know, and he also told Rob Elgas, too, he said, the Cubs, they've come back from a rough season. No, they had the best record in baseball in the American and the National League.
Yeah.
What is he talking
about?
And
then they sauntered off for a glass of Chablis. I mean, a couple of goofs.
No, it's white Zinfandel, I think is what he's drinking. But yeah, that was but quite a win. Come on, you have to admit it. It was a great victory. 10 innings. There's a rain delay. Come on, we fought back.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Zorbis gets a Camaro and a mullet to go with it.
Yeah, well, it's required. That's the required haircut.
Yeah, but fans are still celebrating Wrigley. Don't you know there?
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever. I'm supposed to have class at 9:30 in DeKalb, but I don't care. I'll drive straight there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we'll get back to that. We have to talk about a presidential election. We talk about the future on this show, not the past.
Oh.
The past is
Oh my gosh.
The past
we
is
can't
gone.
have a day to party
no,
and celebrate.
that's hours ago now. That's old news.
The players just got back to Wrigley an hour ago.
Yeah, can you go line up for the parade?
Yeah, we're dragging you to the parade. You don't know this, but we're taking you.
With your Crizzo sign. This is going to be interesting. Oh, a little programming note. I'm going to be on Windy City Live today to do a little election roundtable. That should be interesting. That's like the local version of The View.
It is. But I'm surprised that they're doing it on a day like today, a historic day. But
I'm surprised they invited me. I'm going to bring this little factoid.
You're going to shower too, right? And get a nice suit on there?
Yeah. This factoid is interesting, though. Pew survey. Tolerance is one of the words of the day, particularly of the left. I mean, it's the projection, right? They accuse those who are intolerant when it is they themselves who are the most intolerant. And Pew apparently confirms that. Nearly 6 in 10 registered voters who back Hillary Clinton say they have a hard time respecting someone who supports Trump for president, while only 40% of Trump voters feel the same about Clinton voters. So, in other words, 60-40 Clinton voters don't respect Trump voters. 60-40 Trump voters can respect a Clinton voter, even though they disagree. So who are the adults in the room again? This is interesting, too, when you dig into the numbers. The least tolerant Trump group are men older than 65, but only 45% of that cohort say they would have a hard time respecting Clinton supporters. That's 21 points lower than the most intolerant group among Clinton supporters. And who do you think the most intolerant group among Clinton supporters is? Hint, think your friends.
Women.
College-educated women. They've fashioned themselves on the left, fashioned themselves so informed and so tolerant and so compassionate, sophisticated, and yet they are the least able to defend their position and the most, spiteful towards those who disagree. Fascinating research from Pew.
Is that why I'm losing friends?
Could be. Could be.
I have no friends.
You're a case study. Now, going down the age demographic a bit, we're pleased to be joined by our next guest. She is Gabrielle Jackson Bosche. She's an author, she's an entrepreneur, and she's also a member of Evangelical Women for Trump, that coalition group. And she joins us now. Gabrielle, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So you are a millennial that we talk so much about. And part of what you do professionally is to kind of help companies translate their products and their marketing of said products to millennials. How do you translate the marketing of Trump to millennials?
It's actually not a hard sell. What's interesting to note is that millennials really want three things, and this is what I found from 10 years of studying this generation. We want three things when it comes to a president. We want someone who's authentic, someone who's transparent, and someone who is accessible. And Trump hits the mark on all of those three things. I think when it comes to Hillary Clinton, the biggest challenge that we have is this idea of justice. Millennials are really a justice generation, and every new day comes out more WikiLeaks, FBI Director Comey coming out last week, really causing great concern for voters of all ages. Say, what kind of person are we going to put in the White House when her moral fabric is really in question up to this point?
But Gabrielle, as a female voter, as a Trump supporter, how did you process the boorish comments that he's made and these women that are coming forward making allegations that he sexually was inappropriate with them?
Yeah, what he's said in the past is abhorrible, and I don't think anyone of any faith or any age can say what it is that is okay. But he's come out, and Trump has apologized, and I've accepted his apology. And moving forward, what I think the voters really need to be working on is not what someone says that offends you. We really need to be focusing on what the policies are. And I think that we have put up this false narrative that, that it's the lesser of two evils when you're going into the voting booth. Well, Jesus is never on the ballot. There's always going to be two very imperfect people that we're going to elect to lead this imperfect nation. And the responsibility is on us as the voters to take the time to look at the issues, not the personalities and not the politics, but look at the core issues. And I can tell you as a Christian, it took me looking just 5 minutes at the last debate as we're talking about partial birth abortion on the debate stage. You just needed to watch those first 5 minutes to determine where you're at and who you need to be voting for on November 8th.
Now, so much discussion, largely because the president is driving, and so much discussion right now going on about the turnout of black families in this country as it pertains to Hillary's electoral fortunes. But as a member of the coalition group Evangelical Women for Trump, a core constituency for Trump has to be evangelical turnout. And I wonder, this has kind of ebbed and flowed over the course of the campaign, depending on what's come out. Some evangelicals sitting out, some supporting, some that were supporting, that stopped supporting after the Billy Bush tape, some still hanging in. Where do you think the evangelical vote is, evangelical enthusiasm, evangelical turnout for Trump?
I'll be honest with you. I have never seen the church as divided as it is now. And honestly, it's breaking my heart because we have an opportunity as a faith community to really lead in this effort of reconciliation, of bringing people together. We are so divided as a country right now across racial lines, socioeconomic lines, gender, generational lines. And I really believe it's a huge opportunity we have. But we can say it's more than just about election. It's really about loving one another. To that extent, though, I think it's important for Christians to understand what we're talking about when we say the next president will have the opportunity to determine the future of the bench of the Supreme Court. I think we throw on the Supreme Court here and there, and people don't understand, really where either Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton could be appointing, 3 to 5 new justices. And that will determine not only our ability for religious freedom, but freedom of speech, freedom to gather. And so it's really important to be looking at the fiber of the individual who's there and what kind of justices they're going to be appointing.
Yeah, it seems to me the best argument for conservative Catholics, for evangelical Christians, to those who are resistant, is the argument that Tony Perkins from Family Research Council made after the Billy Bush tape surfaced, which is in explaining his continued support for Trump. My support for Trump was never about shared values. My support for Trump is that he's a vehicle for certain policy choices that are different from what Hillary Clinton is a vehicle for in terms of policy. Supreme Court nominees, religious freedom, whether it's through the courts or just through the passage of law. And that's the important thing to remember, as you say, with these two terribly flawed candidates.
Right, and it really is about how do you get the ball down the field. You don't win a football game overnight. You win it by gaining yardage. And I think we expect that we're going to win everything back overnight, but it's how do you find someone who agrees with you, maybe not 100%, but maybe 20% more than the other person. And so what I am encouraging my fellow voters to think about is your vote is not an endorsement. When you elect someone, you are not taking complete responsibility for what that person does, but you are taking your vote and you're saying, it's not an endorsement, but it's a strategic choice for the direction and the future of this country.
Yeah,
and that's where, again, you look at the issues and you say, which one stacks up? Because I want to help create a better future rather than just focusing on the next 4 years. It's not about the next 4 years. It's about the next 40 years.
Well said. She is Gabrielle Jackson Bosche, author, entrepreneur, member of the coalition group Evangelical Women for Trump. Gabrielle, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.